Good evening and welcome. I'm Chris Parnell.
Reporting from Moscow.
Tbilisi.
Times Square.
May your dreams be your only boundaries in life.
Hello, and welcome to GHS-TV's award-winning talk show, Crosstalk. I'm your host, Kaif Gilani, joining you from our studios on the campus of Germantown High School. On today's show, we are going to speak with optional schools specialists from all over Shelby County. Later in the show, we will be joined by representatives from Cordova and White Station Middle, as well as Ridgeway High School. They will talk about the many innovative programs that offer more rigorous curriculum to students throughout the region. But first, Dr. Maxwell, the optional facilitator at Grahamwood Elementary School, and Miss Lindsay Robinson, the optional schools coordinator at Germantown Elementary, will join us now. Welcome.
Hello.
So why don't you start off by telling me about the optional programs at your school? Miss Robinson?
So Germantown Elementary School, this is our first year to be an optional program. We have enriched academics and also a focus in international studies. So we have optional classes in grades 1 through 5, and then we have our international studies is for all students at our school. So we are a school within a school. We thought that that was important. We didn't want all of our children, if you didn't meet the requirements to be in an enriched classroom, to not benefit from the optional program. So that's why we also incorporated the international studies. So every child in our school benefits from that.
Okay. And Dr. Maxwell?
Yes, I want to thank you first of all for having Grahamwood out here. We appreciate that.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, well, thank you. We are enriched academics optional school, which means that we go beyond the curriculum that we are given and more depth learning. For example, we might go ahead and do a monthly book report for each of the children. We go from the book report and they may write a play based upon the book and then perform it for their parents or another class as they go through it.
Okay.
That's part of our enriched academics.
So essentially going above and beyond is part of the Enriched Academics program.
That's correct.
From the normal curriculum. How is this done at Germantown?
Well, we take the curriculum that's provided, and we don't want enriched to be that you're just receiving more work, that just because you're in this optional classroom that means you're doing more work. It's that you're digging deeper into your learning. So they're given the curriculum, but then like I just said, they're digging deeper. So they might do, like I know one of our third graders, they just did New Year's resolutions. And they were doing an acrostic poem, but instead of just writing words on their New Year's resolutions like beautiful or kind, they had to come up with ways to be more kind or to, so, their teacher would say, well, you're already beautiful, but, how are you going to, use a word that describes that, or how are you going to achieve that? And I know with our first grade optional classrooms, they're not really using the basal reader, but they're doing book reports and book studies on chapter books. So one of our first grade classrooms, they were reading Mummies in the Morning. And so then in order to kind of collaborate with that, they went down to the University of Memphis and they looked at their Egyptian exhibit just to kind of to make those connections between what's going on in the outside world, what's in our community, and then also with the literature that they're looking at in the classroom.
So do optional schools often provide opportunities for outside excursions?
Absolutely.
Would you say so?
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things too, I wanted to bounce off what she was saying as well, in the optional programs, these children have qualified for optional. That means they perform significantly above the average student. And in being able to do that, they are able to work at a quicker pace than these students. And actually, like she was saying, Ms. Robinson was saying, it goes much deeper because these kids can work at a much higher and research at a much deeper method. But we do very much go out and do field explorations. For example, we're getting ready to go downtown and take a field exploration of Beale Street, the Bells Museum, Civil Rights Museum, all of these in a day. And then we're going to come back and, for example, what we do with our optionals is they will come back and find the events and the famous Memphians that they have discovered down there and come back and research those using the internet and books and materials we have in our library, and they will create a calendar based upon what they have learned, and we will dispense that to the community.
So you would say it's more of teaching them how to learn for themselves instead of just memorization and something
Providing
like that.
them the tools, yes. Providing them the tools that not only will they succeed in elementary school, but through middle school, high school, and throughout life.
Exactly.
In a lot of our optional classrooms, it's not as much that the teacher's standing up there and teaching and having to do as much instruction as in a traditional classroom. Lots of our classes, they have captains, like a team captain. And for if they're doing morning work or whatnot, it's not that the teacher and the students are going over it, but that they've talked about it as a group, and they are, disagreeing with one another and saying, no, I don't agree with your answer, and they're having that accountable talk with one another. And so, it's a great way for those students to learn because they're able to do that independent learning and bouncing ideas off of one another to come to the conclusions that, might be the right answer.
A lot of small group work.
A lot of small group work,
you get out of this.
Okay. And you said, earlier, Dr. Maxwell, you mentioned that these kids are, above, they perform above the standard level. How are these optional, how are they given the opportunity to go to an optional school? Is there a requirement that they have to
There
meet?
is. They have to maintain good grades, A's and B's. They must maintain good behavior and good attendance. But beyond that, for our school, for example, we are set at the highest level of qualification, 85% above. That means they have to take a test and qualify at the 85th percentile or above, or it will be based upon their TCAP scores from the previous year to be able to qualify for this. And this is, it's optional is different in CLU in several ways. CLU is a program where you get state certified gifted. That's a little bit different, but oftentimes you will have optional and CLU all in the same group. For example, our school has about 1,000 children. About half of our school is optional, about half of it is in district. And beyond that, that's the two groups. Well, there's a third group too. There's 319 kids at our school that are CLU qualified. So that's a whole another program, another layer even on top of optional that are at Grahamwood and Germantown Elementary as well.
And at Germantown, you mentioned an international focus. Now, what does that provide?
So our international studies, we have 3 French teachers that travel around to our classrooms. All of our children at Germantown, K through 5, receive 30 minutes of instructional French 3 times a week. And we think that's great. Like I said, our French teachers travel into the classrooms. They do interactive lessons. It's conversational French, not that it's a lot of paper pencil. And so they do things that apply to real life. So holidays and pets and family members and teaching them that language. Also with our international studies, each grade level was given a country of study. So our kindergartners, they learn about the United States, and our first graders learn about Mexico. And they learn about these countries all year. And we broke it into semesters. So every grade level, they're learning about the geography of their country first, for first semester. Then they learn about the culture, so the art, the music, the people, the food. And then they learn about the government economics at the very end. And we think this is great, and we hope that as our students travel through Germantown, that they'll be able to make those global connections between maybe something that they learned in first grade, and then they're learning something different in 4th grade, but they're able to make those connections between those countries.
Okay, and now last question, Dr. Maxwell, why don't you tell us to wrap it up, why do you think the optional program is something that students should take advantage of?
It offers a much more rich, if children can qualify for it, these children need a much more rich academic environment because they qualify in that direction. Also, too, another thing you'll find a lot of, especially at Grahamwood, is Ms. Robinson was speaking about the global perspective. I mean, our school is one of the most diverse schools out there anywhere. I mean, we have a very diverse school, and you'll find a lot of that, and not just in a lot of the optional programs that are around there. So that's one of the things too that really I think works for us, and we do use that diversity to talk more of a global level for all of our students.
Exactly. It sounds like a great program you guys have going.
Thank you.
Thank you.
When we return, we'll go further in depth about the Optional Schools program when Sean Page, the principal at White Station Middle, and Dr. Christopher Murrah, the assistant principal from Cordova Middle, join us. Stay tuned.
Everybody needs a helping hand. Take a look at your fellow man and tell me what can I do today.
Hey, let me get that for you.
Everybody needs a helping out. If that ain't what it's all about, tell me what.
Thank you, young man.
What can I
No
do?
problem.
What can I do today?
Courtesy. Pass it on.
I got it.
A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
Thank you, dear.
You make me feel so young.
Pink young. Pass it on.
You make me feel so spring.
Welcome back to Crosstalk. I'm your host, Kaif Gilani. On today's show, we are hearing about the many benefits of the optional schools in Shelby County. Sean Page from White Station Middle and Christopher Murrah from Cordova Middle are with us now. Welcome, gentlemen. How are you? So, Mr. Page, why don't you start off and tell us about the optional focus at White Station?
White Station's optional focus is college preparatory and enriched academics. Our goal is for when students matriculate from our program to White Station High School, which we're connected. If a student qualifies for White Station Middle, they also go to White Station High School, and their optional program is for them to go to top-tier colleges. And we do that through rigorous and enriched curricular offerings and our after-school activities.
Okay. And Mr. Murrah?
We do much the same. We have a variety of classes that we think will help enhance students as they go into their high school career. And we feed from different elementary schools in the area, and certainly serve Cordova Middle and have a number of students that go on to White Station as well and some of the surrounding high schools.
Okay, so what are some of the opportunities that these students have that they wouldn't have at any other middle school that's not offering an optional focus?
I think optional, as the elementary schools alluded to, it just takes the curriculum and students go much deeper and have much more rigor than the traditional classrooms. All Shelby County schools follow a certain curriculum, but in optional classrooms, they're able to go at a quicker pace sometimes and also to a deeper level.
Okay. And what specific courses are there? Are there any specific courses that maybe middle schoolers wouldn't be taking that they are offered at your schools?
Sure, we have, we're really excited about our STEM program, Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math. We also offer Algebra 1 at the 7th and 8th grade levels, geometry, and art. We have a film and video class, and we have about 30 extracurricular activities that students can participate in as well. So there are lots of things that traditional students coming into an optional program can be excited about.
Okay.
And just to touch on that, so as well as his school, our school also offers a lot of classes. And what's great is students in the traditional program also benefit from those classes also. So for example, we offer 5 foreign languages, the most of any public or private school in Tennessee. And not only do optional students benefit from that, and we offer it for high school credit in a middle school setting, but our traditional students, all students benefit from these classes.
5 languages, that's a lot. That's more than we have at our school. Which languages do you
we
provide?
have French, German, Latin, Spanish, and Japanese.
Wow, that's awesome. So, you know, these opportunities that are provided to them, how do you hope it will help them maybe perhaps at high school? How are you preparing them for preparing the students for high school?
I mean, the whole focus is getting those kids ready to excel at high school and giving that firm foundation they can build on in middle school to take to the high school level. And our goal, both of our schools' goal, is that these students take AP classes when they go to the high school. So we want to get them prepared, and those classes, the AP classes, are rigorous. So we want to provide a firm foundation, and optional definitely challenges students and provides that rigor they need in order to excel when they get to high school.
Anything you'd like to add, Mr. Murrah?
Well, no, he's right, and that's the, you know, we really have a belief that, and I think it's been said before, rigor is more than just extra work, but it's taking what you learn and going deeper and looking at it in new ways. And so really, as we said about bringing Common Core into the classroom, we were excited about that, what that meant for the optional program, because that feeds right into what these students need to do and what we try to provide for them on a daily basis. And we want to prepare them. And really, when you think about middle school, that's your bridge from elementary to high school. Exactly. And so not only are we helping them socially become more mature and learn how to handle themselves in different atmospheres and environments, but also as we increase the work, we're preparing them to take on those first 9th grade classes and be able to go into it knowing that they can complete the papers that they're asked to complete and complete the homework assignments and the long-term projects.
Exactly. And I would say that, in my opinion, middle school is the first step where students are offered extracurricular opportunities. In the wide majority. So how are these students taught to, become more well-rounded and take advantage of these extracurriculars, I would say? Are those opportunities offered to them?
We have a competitive football and basketball team, and so, of course, those are the givens that we have. We are also a big green school, so we're part of the Power Save team. We're moving forward now with trying to become one of the first green ribbon schools in the state, and so we've had a 2-year run with Recycle Memphis and working with that throughout our school. We have a new karate club. And those students meet twice a week, sometimes 3 times a week in the afternoon and practice karate. We have everything from sewing to cooking to, I think there's a CSI club, so students have been excited about that, where they've actually spun the DNA out of strawberries and, and kind of done that sort of work. And we also have, things that students are interested in, and that's what we set forth to bring about. So we will poll students and say, what do we have that you want? Right. And we'll try to make it happen for them, because we want them all to experience something outside of the classroom, because we recognize that it's more than just what goes on in the classroom that makes them those well-rounded students that will be successful in high school and college.
Just to touch on that, so parents right now have a lot of choices, and that's great. We have public, private, parochial, there's charter, and there's quite a number of optional schools. So I just encourage parents to check out schools, look at what's offered, both check out their web pages, see what my school offers, Cordova. We offer a wide range of clubs, activities, classes, and our goal is to get those kids ready for high school and college.
Exactly. And the last thing I'm going to mention, the goal is to get them ready for high school. These classes that you're talking about offering, geometry, all the classes that are offered in high school, are they able to get credit for them in high school?
So like our school offers 5 high school credit classes for world language. We also offer Algebra 1 in 7th and 8th grade, Geometry in 8th grade. So these students can actually get honors high school credit in middle school, and then they take that over to the high school.
So you're definitely preparing them for college.
Definitely.
And they're being prepared. They still have to take the state required number of math classes and so forth, but it puts them a step ahead. And really prepares them for that advanced math and the skills necessary to be successful in college. And so we're excited to be able to offer those additional classes to students who are prepared and willing and ready to take part in them.
Exactly. So you would suggest optional schools for any middle schooler?
I would definitely.
Okay. When we return, we are going to hear even more about optional schools with Mrs. Lakeisha Howard, the optional schools coordinator from Ridgeway High School. Stay with us.
Make a difference. Pass it on. A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
Welcome back to Crosstalk. I'm your host, Kaif Gilani. Today we've been joined by optional schools specialists from around Shelby County. We've learned about the unique courses, programs, and challenges that involved students undertake. And now Ms. Lakeisha Howard from Ridgeway High School will tell us about the phenomenal programs that her school has to offer. Welcome, Ms. Howard.
Welcome. Thank you for having me.
No problem. Thank you for being here. So tell us how Ridgeway High School's optional program differs from the other high school optional programs.
Well, our optional school program differs from other high schools is because we offer the International Baccalaureate Diploma Program. I know that we are one of 3 schools here in the Shelby County District that offer that program. It is a highly rigorous program, academically challenging for students, internationally focused, and a balanced program, which will allow students to not only focus on academics, but develop personally and grow within their personal strengths.
Okay, so the International Baccalaureate Program, the main word that I look at when I hear that is international. How is this program preparing students to take on the challenges that we face in the world?
Well, one thing, the program encourages students to just think outside of locality, just think outside of your local context, and just become more involved with the global aspect of the world and learning things that are taking place around the world and not just focusing on your city or your state or your local state.
Okay. You know, one of the things I hear a lot also is IB and AP, and what's the difference? Do you know, can you explain that?
Yes, the difference between the 2 of those, IB is a 2-year program. It's a diploma program, so the end result is, yes, they're going to take exams in the end, but they're also looking forward to go to earning a diploma. AP is specifically just classes that the students will take, in which they will also take an exam at the end. It will lead to college credit just like an IB class will, but remember that the difference between the 2 is that the IB is an actual 2-year program, and AP is just a specific course or courses that the students will take.
So the AP is more you get to pick your own curriculum, but the IB is a set curriculum.
Yes, correct.
You would say. Okay, and is there anything provided in the curriculum for IB that you wouldn't see at any other curriculum?
Well, yeah, there are a couple of things actually. There are 3 core components that are also coupled with the IB program, and that's the theory of knowledge, which is a class that the students take. And that class just simply lets them sit and discuss why you know what you know, what is knowledge, and how do you attain knowledge. The next portion of that will be the CAS, which is creativity, action, and service, and that's the heart of the program. It's more like the community service aspect. So the students are encouraged to create or to finish community service hours of about 150 hours and balance them in each area in creativity, action, and service. And then the last piece of that is the extended essay, which the students will write. It is an independent research paper that the students will look forward to researching, and it ends up to be about a 4,000 word paper that they do over the course of 2 years.
So it's definitely a lot more than AP.
Oh yes, definitely.
So would you suggest this program for everyone, or specifically certain people who can actually, handle it?
I would suggest this program for students who are highly motivated, students who are curious, students who love learning and love homework and love doing work. And I also would suggest this for students who are well-balanced students and who will actually take the time to learn more about themselves and develop as a person. So those type of students. Okay.
And now the IB program that is at Ridgeway, is it at any advantages over the other IB programs in the area, or? Because I know I'm at Germantown High School, and we have the IB program here, and I'm in it. And it's a great program, but I was just wondering if it differs at all from your program.
Well, most of the IB programs are going to be the same. Now, we may offer different course offerings at each school. But one thing that's unique about Ridgeway is that we are a small environment. So the class sizes are smaller. Our students are more of a family-oriented type of atmosphere there, and the teachers and students interact in that way.
So are IB teachers different than the other teachers at the school?
The IB teachers are different because they are highly trained by the International Baccalaureate Organization to prepare those students for what's to come in IB curriculum. Although some of them, they may teach other courses, but they are highly trained by IBO.
So they have to take a separate course, or they have to take separate training just to be an IB teacher?
Yes.
Okay, that provides a lot of help that the students wouldn't normally get from another teacher.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. And now tell us what the IB program will help them with in college when they're looking for colleges,
Definitely. The IB program in itself will prepare your students for college. I've had the opportunity to talk to many of the students that graduated last year, and they're all sharing how important this program is and how it has helped prepare them for college, not only just in critical thinking skills, but also in writing skills with the extended essay that I mentioned earlier that they have to write, and just being prepared and understanding how to manage your time as a college student. So it will definitely prepare them for college.
Now, this extended essay, it sounds really lengthy, 4,000 words. How is that undertaken, and what year is that undertaken in?
It is undertaken their junior and senior year, so the students have the opportunity to complete it over the course of 2 years. They start on it during their junior year, around the first semester, and they work with an EE mentor, which is a teacher who is assigned to mentor them through the process. So the students do independent research. They have that amount of time, and then they complete it their senior year.
Wow. And this, is it on a topic that they get to choose, or is it assigned?
Yes, it is a topic that they get to choose. It is an independent research topic based on some of the topics that IB will list out, but the students will be able to choose whatever topic they're interested in. So it's not like we say, hey, here's your research paper, you have to do it on this. They have the opportunity to choose what they want to research, which makes it more fun for them.
They get to enjoy while they're writing.
Right.
So, you know, last question, what are the requirements to be part of the IB program at Ridgeway, and how is it different from the other schools' requirements?
Okay, the differences in our school requirements, for one, is that I know at Germantown, I think you have to be in the 80th percentile or higher. With Ridgeway, the students have to score within the 70th percentile or higher on their TCAP scores or Explore scores. We also look at grades as far as their report cards. Final report cards have to have all A's and B's and no more than 1 C per semester. And then we look at conduct. E's and S's are satisfactory, no N's. And of course, we look at attendance. We want to make sure that the student is attending every day and that they have no more than 15 absences or tardies throughout the whole school year, and those are the requirements.
So students who can balance their time and their grades.
Correct.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Ms. Howard, for being here.
All right.
Students around the region are able to benefit from one of the 47 theme-based optional schools. Year-round, they are able to prepare for colleges and careers, even as young adults. To learn more about the many things that optional schools have to offer, go to scsk12.org and search optional schools. Thanks to everyone at home for tuning in this week. If you'd like to learn more about our program, visit GHS-TV.org, where you'll find our live stream and video archive. And be sure to follow us on one of our many social media channels for news, updates, and behind-the-scenes extras. From the entire crew here at GHS-TV, we look forward to seeing you next time for another edition of Crosstalk.